Welcome to round 4 of the Thundersport GB Championships for 2017. Here we are then, very recognisable I'm sure, as you can see here, down on the front row at Cadwell Park for the one and only visit to the Lincolnshire circuit. We've had a bit of mixed weather here so far, slightly delayed start due to fog, a bit of rain as well, but we are ready to get underway. You just saw there number 94, the championship leader and reigning champion Lee Williams. There's Billy Mellor. Whenever he turns up, always a threat. This is the GP1 class, the Michelin tyres, Thundersport GP1 Elite and Monex Europe GP1 Sportsman, the biggest class at Thundersport GP, and they're underway here at Cadwell Park. A couple of dodgy starts there away from the line, but as you can see here, packed GP1 grid as they all charge uphill in towards turn 1 for the first time. Riding with David Brook now on the Team Marconi Racing Kawasaki, currently second overall in the championship. Now, there was one race for these guys yesterday. Williams won that to extend his championship lead from Billy Mellor. Dave Jackson, an old face certainly in terms of Thundersport GB. Dave Brook was 4th, and Matt Truelove, another former champion of Thundersport, was up inside the top 5 as well here. And the 1000cc, and that's down already. Dave Brook has gone down. There's someone else as well. Oh my word, massive crash at Park Corner, and that is not the way to get yourself big points in the championship. Dave Brook there has taken, I think, Mark Sykes down with him. 2 riders inside the top 4 of the championship, both down. It's Lee Williams that leads as they drop down the hill into Mansfield Corner. Wow, some major moments there then, right at the start of this race here at Cadwell Park. Here he is leading the way. Dave Jackson, number 156, is in second place. He knows this place. It's a home circuit for him. Billy Mellor, whenever he turns up, as I said, always a strong rider. He's been at many Thundersport GB rounds at Cadwell Park before and is always fighting for the podium. Lee Williams here it is then that leads from Jackson and Mellor. Just in third place there is Jamie Tibble on that yellow bike. There's Ben Crow, number 99. No Phil Crow here this weekend. We just saw Neves going through as well. Number 28 there is Gary Hutchinson through Hall Bends and dropping now downhill into really tight hairpin. Now out of Barn Corner and onto the start-finish straight. Williams then won't be aware at the moment that Dave Brook has gone missing, but this is a big opportunity for him to extend his championship lead. Steve Day here, Thundersport Syd with me also in the commentary box. Sid, as ever at Cadwell, changeable conditions.
Oh, it's been a proper pain, particularly after 2 fantastic days. Lee really showed everybody where to go yesterday. Like, he was just on it, you know, and everything seemed to fall in like a nice straight deck of cards. And you know, when he's on his form and the bike's okay, he's tough to beat. And it's a real shame for Dave Brook there, because he's...
Oh, Lee Williams has gone down now.
Oh no!
The race leader at the gooseneck. Big crash for Lee Williams. Well, he didn't even know. If he'd have known maybe that Dave Brook was out, maybe that would have made him think a little, but it's so slippery out there at Cadwell, and that's a big crash for Lee Williams. That is a fast place to be going down.
Oh, goodness. Lovely to see him up, but that bike does not look very well, does it?
Oh, we've seen some bikes go down there over the years, and that has been absolutely, you know, nightmare for a lot of people. There is Ben Crow up inside the top 6 or 7 there as well. You'll see number 11. That's James Folkard, a former champion with us, of course, at 450 level, and he's a handful for anyone that wants to race against him. Very versatile rider. He's out there on the Quelch Motorsport Yamaha, but it now means that Dave Jackson is the guinea pig then, leading this race. Further back there is 111, Sonny Martin, up ahead of Paul Charman with that Seaton tuning Yamaha of his. And now Billy Mellor charges up alongside Dave Jackson. These two know each other pretty well up into turn 1. Trouble is, Sid, it's dry out there, so you're using slick tyres, but of course there are some damp patches around.
Well, it's been on and off all day. I mean, really low cloud earlier, which you can see is not completely cleared already. And there's the threat of rain. There's been some rain and then it's dried. You're right. You're absolutely right. It's really difficult conditions. You know, the boys have been in and out to check the track conditions to see what tyres to put on. But it's just one of those. I mean, it's a typical Cadwell Park deliverance.
Well, at the moment, it's Billy Miller that leads this one from Dave Jackson. There they go, down into Mansfield. Yellow bike there, 75 is Jamie Tibble. And just closing in on him there in fourth is Paul McClung. Now, Paul McClung comes into this round 5th overall in the championship. An opportunity here just to maybe claw back a couple of points over Williams and Brook.
He's a dark horse, you know, Paul McClung. He was always so good, wasn't he, on a Super Twin. And his dad told me last year, you watch, he's going to be good. And then he crashed this. He couldn't get it together properly. But, you know, slowly, he's got used to that bike. And, you know, that BMW. And he is beginning to come on strong. Whether he'll be ultimately a championship contender, I don't know, Steve. But we'll have to see, because these championships do ebb and flow, don't they?
They certainly do. Lee Williams, of course, has been so dominant and consistent. That's an uncharacteristic mistake there from Lee Williams. So McClung at least has a chance here to get back some points. He didn't have a lot to show from Snetterton, of course, when we were last out. Here is McClung now, trying to chase down Jamie Tibble, who doesn't feature in the top 10 of our championship. Likewise, Dave Jackson. Now, Billy Mellor was out with us last time, so he has already got some points on the board. Here they all come through into turn 1. We've got a couple of the True Love brothers to look out for out there as well. Welcome back to them, Matt and Harry. Matt True Love sporting the regular 59, Harry True Love number 51. And here is James Folkart then, number 11, up ahead of Michael Neves. Nice to see Nevesy up there, number 51. We just saw there, Harry Truelove is up behind Michael Neves.
Yeah, because Nevesy's just back really properly from an injury, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly, yeah, big injury for him. He came back at Snetterton for the first time. I was quite surprised, to see him there.
I don't think he dare come up on the podium though, because Bob's not here. His absolute mentor and mechanic and go everything person. He's away for this one, and so if he went and got on the podium, I think Bob would be proper upset.
So Michael Neves at the moment then inside the top 8. Phil Crow not here because of TT duties. You're looking here at Paul McClung. He's now up past Jamie Tibble. And into the top 3. Billy Mellor it is that still leads this race here at Cadwell Park. As I said yesterday, Williams the race leader. Matt Truelove went missing actually on that opening lap. So been looking out for Matt. Can't find him, and that's the reason why. So he went AWOL. Just saw there Nico Mawini, a regular here with Thundersport as well, number 12, across the line there for 3rd and 4th. And then a big group of riders here for 5th place. Look at this lot. Across the line there. Blimey. There's a good 7, 8, 9 bikes all together there. There's Michael Neves trying to find a way past James Folkard in that group also. We've got Jonathan Lodge, Ben Scranage in there as well. This is your race leader from Barnsley then, Billy Mellor, out there on that Team Able BMW. And then it's Dave Jackson, 156 on his BMW. Then it's McClung, then Tibble. This is 5th, Folkard, Neves, Ben Crow, Liam Marchant up there as well. Nice to see Liam back racing with us, the rider from K-Store on the Drury Engineering Kawasaki.
Cadwell brings them all out, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Liam Marchant, it says in the programme that he's from K-Store, as in C-A-I-S-T-O-R, which I believe is actually somewhere very close to here at Cadwell. He's a local lad, not K-Store on Sea. Which is somewhat closer to where me and you live, Sid. This is your race leader then, Billy Mellor. As ever, got everything under control. I have to say, considering the damp patches, Billy Mellor lapping pretty quickly. They're in the low 131s, which a couple of tricky spots to navigate. That's not hanging about.
Well, a few years ago, I can remember when a 131 round here at this level would have made everybody very happy. But of course, after last year's 129 and a half, I suppose people sort of get used to that and want it again. But in these conditions, it's not going to happen.
I remember about 10, 11, maybe even 12 years ago when a 131 wouldn't be the worst time in the world on the circuit that didn't feature the new chicane from Mansfield to the mountain. But here we are then around Chris Curve for Billy Mellor since getting past Dave Jackson He's got everything under control. That was Paul McClung there. Here is Tibble. At the moment, having a bit of a lonely ride there in 4th place. He's not closing in on McClung, but he's not under any danger here from these guys. Neves has gone through there. Now then, this group is looking a bit thin. We've lost a few riders there. 3 riders have gone missing. James Folkard and Jonathan Lodge were not there, and Ben Scranage also. So 3 riders have just gone missing on that lap. We're losing them here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have to report that we had a camera go down at Barnes, so water ingress, which I don't think many people would be surprised to hear about. So we are missing a few bits here and there.
Yeah, we're missing riders as well in this lap. Sorry, in this race alone, someone goes straight through. There's Nevesy. He's up ahead of Ben Crow. Harry Truelove that was, that just took sort of the evasive action. So in this race we've had Mark Sykes, Dave Brooke, Matt Truelove, Lee Williams, Jonathan Lodge, Ben Scranage, James Folkard all go missing. They are pretty sharp riders.
And that's a high rate of attrition for riders of that calibre to go out, isn't it? Which makes it even more surprising that there's some good racing out there.
Jamie Tibble dangerously close to the grass there on the exit of Barn Corner. That is not the last lap flag, by the way. That is a stationary yellow, which means that we must have had some sort of incident a little bit further up.
Yeah, I didn't see the waved yellow there at Coppice though, so that maybe just went in just after the camera passed, I guess.
Or maybe a rider's pulled over just on the side of the circuit there.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So Dave Jackson just going through there. These guys, that guy there is just being lapped. That's Scott Billingham, number 188, and Paul McClung just going underneath him into Chris Curve. Good 16 points on offer here to Paul McClung, and he needs it as well. Coming into this weekend, he is almost 100 points down. He'll be 70. Oh, how many will he be down at the end of this race? It's tough to say. He'll be 71 points down, 72 points down on Lee Williams, if things stay the way they are. Worth remembering that it's the normal point system here at Thundersport, but there are only 3 races per weekend for the Thundersport GP1 guys. Dave Jackson got a chance there just to have a big look over his shoulder, not coming under any threat from anyone further behind. Up ahead of him on the road is still Billy Mellor. He's looked very, very comfortable and confident in this race, and Dave Jackson then just cruising round now, ready to take the 2nd place, and it should be McClung that takes the 3rd as well.
Yeah, I would imagine once he's got over the damage, last lap flag there, Lee will be breathing a sigh of relief at the prospective results of this race, because as a damage limitation situation, if he can do something in race 2 of today, he won't come out of this weekend, as you said, with the win yesterday, looking too badly after that crash.
Well, no, it's pros and cons, isn't it? The con is he would have been able to extend his championship lead with Dave Brooke down and out of the race, but the fact he's gone down and he gets back into the paddock and realises Dave Brooke has as well, like you say, that's not worked out too badly actually for Lee, provided of course they can get the bike fixed ready for race 2, because a crash at the Gooseneck is not normally just a simple fairing replacement.
That bike, I doubt, will get fixed today. That'll be the number 2 bike. There'll be a big changeover of gear onto the wet bike, I would imagine, Steve. That's if it doesn't rain, because I can tell you that the clouds are looking pretty grim above.
We've had some funny old days at Cadwell over the years here at Thundersport GB. Of course, this is the 10th season for Thundersport GB, and we've had blistering, beautiful sunshine. We've had absolute torrential rain and wind, just about everything you can imagine. A bit of showboating going on here at the end. Not exactly the classic that you might be hoping for from GP1, but the checkered flag awaits here. A lot of riders going down. The checkered flag is out, and Billy Mellor claims what was in the end quite an easy win. It will be 2nd place to Dave Jackson. 3rd does go to Paul McClung. He needed those points. Jamie Tibble was the first of the Sportsman riders across the line. He finished in 4th, and Nevesy there, 5th place for him, ahead of Harry Truelove. Top 3 then, there you see them: Billy Mellor, Dave Jackson, Paul McClung, and in the Sportsman class, top 3, Jamie Tibble, Ben Crow, and Gary Woodward. We'll be back with race 2 in just a couple of moments. Stay with us. Welcome back to Cadwell for race 2. Well, Syd said the clouds were looming over, and well, here you can see this is the result. The second race on the grid, and wet tyres are now the order of the day, Syd.
Yeah, wet race called, and you can see why. It's looking to be tough. There are a couple out there on dries, believe it or not, but I don't see them having a very long race.
In terms of the points for the table, both Lee Williams and Dave Brooks, first and second in the championship, both went down in race 1. Paul McClung, the only rider inside the top 3 in the championship, able to capitalise. Billy Weller, by the way, is up inside the top 4 of the championship now, courtesy of that race win. So another decent result like that here in race 2. And all of a sudden, is he considered a championship threat? It's pretty poor visibility here, but Dave Jackson leads from Lee Williams and Paul McClung. There's Harry Truelove, of course. He went missing in race 1, number 59. His brother Harry managed to stay on board, finished inside the top 6. Around the gooseneck, down into Mansfield. Lee Williams at the moment second place. He won't want to throw it at the scenery like he did in race 1. Dave Brook is there as well, number 73. Just about to see him there on that Arconi Racing BMW, but it's Dave Jackson that has the lead on the wet tyres. It's not exactly soaking, is it, Syd?
No, and to be fair, you can understand here, you could easily burn up some tyres, and then it could rain, and the wet tyres be no good anymore. So this is a pretty tough call, you know. Do you go full out and try and brake ahead at the front? Do you take it easy, try and take care of the tyres? Really tough call.
Tyre choice, of course, completely open, due to the fact that it has been declared a wet race, but you'd be a big brave person to even consider anything other than the wet tyres. And of course these days, Syd, wet tyres, they do last a lot longer than they used to, because there are various different compounds that you can get now.
Yeah, there are. There's a huge range now. Whereas a wet was a wet, now you can get different compounds of wet. So, but you know, it's very difficult. How many sets of wheels do you have? I mean, you know, these are not factory teams, so how many sets of wheels, how many bikes do you have? It's a real tough call.
And for those tuning in for the first time as well, just worth mentioning that it is an open tyre war, if you like, battle. There's no controlled tyres in this class.
No, you can actually have what tyre you want. You can have slicks, treads, intermediates, wets. It is open tyre choice at any time.
I meant brand of tyre.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, and brand of tyre. Although Michelin are the sponsors of the GP1 Elite, any tyre goes, you know, Dunlop, Michelin, Pirelli, Avon, you know, any of them. That you can have whatever you want.
At the moment, the top 3 here, Dave Jackson has the advantage from Lee Williams. Third there is Paul McClung. You can see the rain light at the back there. And clear visor for Paul McClung. The tinted visor for Dave Jackson. Just see the sort of yellow tinted visor for Lee Williams. It's very much preference, really. It's nothing really in terms of an advantage. Some riders prefer the yellow tinted visor rather than just the clear one.
Don't think you ever tried one, did you? Yellow one?
No, I must confess I never did, so I can't really comment. The only thing I could probably come close to commenting about it is in terms of ski goggles with clear and yellow tinted.
Same thing.
You know, it is very much just a matter of preference and whether you feel like you can pick things up easier with the yellow tint, or whether you just want to make it look like a bit more of a brighter day than it actually is.
I think it works, but then it could be psychological. One thing, when you're coming up through a cloud like that, up at Park there, what you don't need is a tinted visor, I can tell you that.
Well, Paul McClung is following in the wheel tracks here of Lee Williams, who has closed down at the front. Dave Jackson's there, so we'll keep an eye on this. This is the rest of the pack all shooting through. There's Rory Parker. Rory's just in and around the top 13, 14, so there's not a lot splitting them. Here is the top 3 then. Williams has now got through. So the championship leader through on Dave Jackson. Paul McClung now will pounce pretty quickly. Dave Jackson thought about a move just up the inside in the chicane. You've got to be so committed and get it absolutely nailed to get that right. Paul McClung there just adjusting his visor. One of the big problems, of course, in conditions like this is the steaming of visors. As Lee Williams gets the entry into the mountain just a bit wrong, Dave Jackson goes up immediately to challenge, and now this is a race. They're all bunched together, a 6-wheel fight for the race lead at Cadwell Park. Through Hall Bends, only room for one in there. You can overtake at the hairpin, but again, you have to be committed. It has to stick. There is a bit further back Jonathan Lodge on that Earnshaw's Motorcycles Kawasaki.
Billy Mellor, did he have dries on and has he gone and parked it?
Billy Mellor went missing on the opening lap. It's a good point, Sid, actually. I've just thought he might be further back in the pack, but maybe he was risking slicks. There's no way of knowing because he is missing, completely missing.
Well, I had a report that there was 5 or 6 guys who went out on slicks and obviously thought it might dry. And of course, that could have been a masterstroke, couldn't it? But I wouldn't mind betting you that he's gone out and said, do you know what? I'm not part of this championship. I'm going to park this rather than take a box full of bits home.
Well, that might be the case. Billy Mellor then not going to score any points here. Meanwhile, both Williams and McClung have got past Dave Jackson and have put some air between themselves as well. There's Sonny Martin. Visibility quite poor here, Sid. I know that at the start of this morning we were wondering when we get underway with the fog, and it seems to be a similar situation over at Park there.
Well, we had to make a stop this morning and go for an early lunch simply because the one marshal's post can't see the signals from the previous one, and that is essentially what you have. This is your guidance. They must be able to clearly see. But you know, if you're doing like 180 miles an hour on one of these missiles, and you head into that, it's daunting, I would say.
Paul McClung here, he's lapping around about 10th or 2 quicker than Lee Williams at the moment. So they will be on top of each other very shortly. There is number 12, just being overtaken, Nico Mawini, by Matt Truelove. Further back is 122. It's Terry Merritt, up ahead of Jonathan Panter, one of our Sportsman riders on the BMW. So along the start-finish straight we go. There is Mark Sykes. This is the big battle going on now for third. So Dave Jackson has gone missing as well. Dave Jackson has disappeared, who was in third. Wow. It's almost like a magic trick here. Here at Cadwell at the moment in GP1, riders just all of a sudden, kapoof.
It's the mist. It's like the Bermuda Triangle, isn't it?
It is, yeah. As soon as they head up into Charlie's, 3 go in and 2 come out.
That camera can't see the distance shot either, can it? And they coming round Charlie's. So
these are the 2 leaders, Lee Williams, and then we've got Paul McClung. And now this is the battle for third. That's Mark Sykes, number 92. And he's just up ahead of Ben Scranage, number 10. Ben Scranage, who went down in the earlier race. Now they're side by side there. Paul McClung thought about a move on Lee Williams. He's getting a bit impatient now. He knows he's got the speed to get past Lee Williams. The question is, Sid, if he gets past Lee Williams, will Lee Williams retaliate or will he use his head? Because he does have an advantage over McClung. David Brook is further down the order, by the way, second in the championship. He's a part of the top 5 or 6. I'll tell you what, I bet it won't be long before there's a pitboard signal on Lee Williams coming into the next few rounds with the name Brook written on it and telling Lee where he is. That might not be a bad idea. And likewise, Dave Brook on Lee Williams for future rounds. But across the line they go. Here comes Paul McClung then. He gets in the slipstream, side by side. And that's a nicely worked move there by Paul McClung. They're carrying some serious speed up into Coppice Corner there. They'll now go into Charlie's. We will get the answer to the question I was asking in a moment.
Well, if he's got any sense at all, and when you're talking about races, it's very difficult to know whether they've got any sense at all, because otherwise they wouldn't be doing this in the first place. But, you know, he would back off, because at the moment, Paul doesn't figure highly, and they're out there on their own. If he's got a good pit board, he's got a reasonable gap back to the next riders, that bunch of riders. I would say discretion is the better part of valour, and in actual fact, look, already, you know, that is stretching to quite a lead, sort of 2.5 seconds maybe already.
Yep, this is the battle further back. There's Mark Sykes. He's just dropped behind the Truelove brothers. Now Harry Truelove, number 51, is being hunted down by his older brother Matt at the moment. Over the top of the hill for the race leader Paul McClung. Well, he's not going to take a huge bite out of Lee Williams in the championship, but he will take more points away, as we just see a lack of adhesion flag. That's the understatement of the century coming through Hall Bends. There's Harry and Matt Truelove just coming through. Should just point out here, of course, that these two guys are out there on super sport machinery. They are not on big GP1 1000cc motorcycles, the Truelove brothers.
No, but it's been proved before, hasn't it, at this circuit? I mean, apart from Park Straight and this start-finish straight, where is a GP1 bike going to be quicker? You know, the more nimble 600 is sometimes a better option, particularly with the... I mean, have you heard of some of the latest power outputs from some of these super sport bikes? Unbelievable,
Wow,
isn't it?
yeah, it really depends on how tuned those motorcycles are, because you're definitely going to lose on acceleration and in terms of the speed on the Park Straight and possibly along the start-finish straight. But other than that, I completely agree with you. Here is Matt Truelove then on that Yamaha R6, just having a sit-up and a look round at the moment around Chris Curve. These conditions are really tricky now for these riders. There's number 12, Nico Mawini. He's just up ahead of Ben Crow. McClung then at the moment on for 25 points. Now, if things stay the way they are out front, with McClung leading and Lee Williams second, that would be a 5 points that McClung would take on Lee Williams. It would be 67 difference going into the next round.
I tell you what, the way Truelove was sitting up there, it looked like he was on a Saturday afternoon drive out. I wouldn't mind betting that was an in-lap, you know. That was very slow, even for these conditions, Steve.
I have to say, Matt Truelove has actually set the fastest lap of the race, a 39.1. But maybe, you're right, maybe he's decided to give this one up. Now, here's Dave Brooke, currently in 4th place in this race, up ahead of Nico Mawini and Ben Crow. Yeah, the Trueloves has just gone missing, Sid.
Maybe they've been brought in. And maybe they've seen the box sign.
I can't see them anywhere at the moment. Paul McClung was just being given a signal on pit wall there just to slow down a bit. He's built himself up a nice lead now, and I'm sure he'll be given the information on the pit board as to what's happening there.
There'll be some burnt up wet tyres here today.
I don't know who this pit board's waiting for, unless he's just generally just showing signs or cricket scores to everyone that comes past. There is Jonathan Lodge. And back with your race leader then, Paul McClung. That is number 40. That's Jack Gover, who's going to be lapped in a moment by Lee Williams. And then that's Ben Scranage then. He's now in 3rd. Forgot about Ben. Then it's Mark Sykes. And then it's David Brooke. So Brooke at the moment in 5th place. Here he is. Really awful conditions now, this, for the riders.
Yeah, he looks like he's taking it really easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult to see.
They're getting worse and worse. The problem is as well, Sid, is that there'll be extra moisture now on the track as well as a result of this.
Yeah. And because the cold of that mist, as you said, make steam up a problem.
Everyone's fastest laps were put in on laps 6, 7. Since then, lap times have dropped off the edge of a cliff here, so...
It's rolling back in, just like it did this morning.
So Paul McClung is actually doing a very good job. No wonder he's being told to slow down by his pit board. They're getting a bit worried that he might throw it down the road, although he looks pretty much in control of things at the moment. There is Mark Sykes. He's got a back ahead now with Ben Scranage. We're coming to the closing stages of this race too. I don't think these GP1 races here this weekend are going to go down in history as your favourites. We've had some brilliant ones over the years at Cadwell, but they could prove to be rather important in terms of championship points at the end of the year. Of course, from here we move to Mallory Park. So the last lap flag comes out now for Paul.
Yeah, it'd be lovely to get back to Mallory. Been a while. I think it's 4 years ago was the last time we were there. Always good racing at Mallory Park.
Seems like quite some time ago since we brought you coverage of round 1 in 2008 from Mallory Park.
Goodness me. Such lovely cheese and pickle sandwiches as well. But yeah, it'd be good to get back there actually. Strange situation on the timetable there, because we're testing on the Thursday, day off Friday, and then the 2 race days, Saturday, Sunday. So because they can't have 3 noise days in a row, so it'll be interesting.
Interesting as in, dare I say, there'll be quite a lot of parties going on Thursday night.
Well, there could be, because we don't have to get up, although I have organised a soapbox race for various teams.
Yeah, I've seen the flyer for that, and I have to say I think you're absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
These guys don't need any encouragement to be stupid, and there is a number of people in the paddock that has just got carnage written all over it.
Yeah.
Anyway, checker flag is out here at Cadwell Park for race 2. Paul McClung's had a good day at the office, a 3rd in race 1, and he's on his way to race victory in race 2. Lee Williams, well, up and down. Down in race 1, up in race 2. His championship lead will remain intact, but it's Paul McClung's day. Brilliant win for him. The number 49, 3rd in the championship, and he claws back some points. It was 2nd for Lee Williams. Mark Sykes 3rd. Ben Scranage went missing on the final lap, and David Brooke takes 4th. Nico Mawini was 5th, and Ben Crow, the leading Sportsman rider, across the line in 6th. There's your top 3. McClung, Williams on the left, Mark Sykes on the right. And in the Sportsman class, you've got Ben Crow, Gary Hutchinson and Sonny Martin. Let's have a look at the points as we head into Mallory Park for round 5. 23-point advantage there for Lee Williams. It's far from comfortable. Dave Brooke in 2nd. Paul McClung then now in 3rd place ahead of Mark Sykes, Billy Mellor, and Phil Crow still in 6th. In the Sportsman is Ben Crow with the championship lead. Quite a comfortable one at that. Ahead of Jamie Tibble, Gary Woodward, Ash Stone, Sonny Martin and Gary Hutchinson. So from Lincolnshire, we say goodbye and we will see you back at where it all began. Mallory Park, next time for round 5. We'll see you then.